If you're selling your own products or promoting your services, it's very important, of course, to have a website. And your website is there to inform people who might be interested in you and also to convert them into sales, into buying your product or service. And many times people struggle with the content writing of their website, how to make it persuasive without being too weird or too salesy. They might be able to set up the website or hire somebody to actually set up the bones of a website, but then actually populating it with the copywriting or the information can be a little bit challenging. And so let's look at how ChatGPT can help us. And I'm going to look at a website, not my own. I will briefly look at my own website, but we'll look at another website that could use a little help and show you how ChatGPT might be able to help them. So let's go dive into looking at websites and maximizing them using ChatGPT. So first off, let's just pop over to my website real quick. I have one called investingeducationwithmrb.com. It's my alter ego, Mr. B, Steve Ballinger, B for Ballinger. There's a B behind me there, right? And I sell online courses, right? So I have all this text or different things in here, and I might write about, okay, what's the challenge for investors and what's the solution and all that. And maybe that's text and things that I could improve. I might like this layout, or does any of this sound familiar where I'm looking at different pain points? But maybe, again, this could be written out a little bit better, right? So I won't bore you with my website or take advantage of that. Let's look at a different website. So let's look at this one. This is Katarina Woodworks. And they make something more fun than maybe my investing courses. They make, amongst other things, custom cutting boards. You see how this got like a north-south direction? They got a little bear. You know, somebody said Meme and Pepe. I'm not sure what that is. And they have a little demonstration. So they've got some nice pictures here. So a nice gallery set up on their website. So that's okay, showing some of the stuff they do. But then when you go to their text, it doesn't really talk too much about it. I mean, they do handmade cutting boards and what they use, and you got their Etsy page, and then they got this whole big section of how to take care of your cutting board. You know, by that point, when they buy a cutting board, it should come with all this how to care and use instructions, not be your whole page, be how to be used, care and use. It's nice to have a video on here, but I'd rather have this be more of a promotional video. So when you look at the lesson about making videos, this would be a better thing to do, is have them talk about why you should buy their cutting boards as opposed to the care and use of cutting boards. So I'm sure they got lots of questions on. So let's see how we could use ChatGPT to help these folks out to try to have better copy for our web page here. All right, so let's go into ChatGPT, and we're starting with these custom-made cutting boards, made to order, right? So maybe let's say I want to say, please, could you, I always do this way, you don't have to, but could you create copywriting for a web page for a site that makes custom cutting boards? Okay, so we're just going to start high level right now with this. We'd actually want more detail than this, but let's just start here and see what ChatGPT comes back to us. All right, so talks about creating one-of-a-kind cutting boards and all this, and of course you'd want to customize this to what's actually what you're doing. Like if it says our cutting boards are made from high quality durable materials, but they really aren't, then you would want to say, well, these are disposable cutting boards or something like that. So here's already a nice little thing about how different uses and all that. Give me a nice little web page, and maybe I can add some pictures. I think a little bit better than what they've got already, right? So let's say I want to take this and I'd say, let's say I want to talk about, because they talk about using sustainable source wood, right? Okay, so I'd say, could you add more about that they use sustainable wood, in their cutting boards, right? So they're not just cutting down trees at a whim. I'm going to hit enter here. They're actually using sustainable wood, and maybe how that might be there. So now it's going to really rewrite this, and you can pull different parts out of this here, but it should be talking about sustainable wood, and here just added sustainable woods that will withstand the rigors of time and great for daily use and all that. So it just added a little bit in there, though if I would have added that in right at the beginning, it would have gave me that to me right away, right? So let's say that I want to say something like, could you add that I'm going to make something up, that we specialize in animal and personalized cutting boards. All right, so it's more than just custom, like make me a cutting board that may be a nice little rectangle shape or something like that, but I wanted to really call out that we make them maybe in the shapes of animals or something like. So it's adding all this with still the same high quality hardwoods. You'd want to go in and say, if you're doing maple, cherry, whatever, you could choose or take out the things and then just really rewrite it as your own way of writing it, right? And here it says, from a simple monogram to a detailed portrait of your beloved pet, we can create a cutting board that's truly unique and special. Skilled artisans, variety of styles and sizes, we'll also offer kitchen accessories, which they don't, so you take that out. And then you can have more in there as far as that. I'm not sure they added much as far as, unless I'm missing here about animals and things, but they added some in there, right? Oh, here we have personalized and animal-shaped cutting boards from a simple monogram to your beloved pet. So that's how they did it. Okay, how ChatGPT did it. So you can see how quickly just playing around with this, and I don't even know these guys, but I made a nice little thing that might be a little bit better, right? As far as what they're doing, and they can add in there, like they talk about no coloring is added, that it's a sourced wood from their suppliers in New Hampshire in the United States where they're based, so they can start adding this onto the basic kind of good web type thing that they've done. All right, so now we could take this and we've now got a nice web page that describes a little bit more. Now let's say maybe I want to put a promo as part of that, maybe like a little pop-up. Maybe I want to write a let's write a pop-up, right? So could you write a pop-up ad for this web page that promotes, let's call it 25% off, 25% off. We'll just leave it at that, right? So here they'll create a pop-up, get 25% off your next custom board, whether you're a professional. Now this might be a little bit long. Maybe I'd want to tell it in like 100 words or less, or 20 words or less. In fact, I could do that. I'd say, usually a lot of times I want to expand on it. I'll say, could you write more? Could you be more detailed with ChatGPT? And this one I would say, could you redo with less words or rods? And that way you might then have a picture on it, and they've got to cut 25 checkout. See now, so there, order now and elevate your cooking game. So this might be a nice, quick, easy pop-up, and then you could add like an expiration date or whatever on there. So we've got our page. Maybe we got a pop-up or some type of advertising in there. We could even add, we also do, in addition to cutting boards, we make tables or furniture or whatever else they might do. And then what you could do is take this web page, so you're kind of built out that, and you want to now start creating like keywords, things around keywords or metadata, to help with search, right? Now this is the SEO part, the search engine optimization, or SEO search part, for when people are searching Google, that they can find you, right? So maybe I want to say, can you give me keywords. Oops, where am I at here? I gotta type in. Here we go. Could you give me keywords? Words for this page. Okay. Now, if you may not know, but if that keywords are actually more like phrases or multiple words. So it's not just the word custom, though it could be a keyword, but custom cutting boards is a keyword. Sustainable woods is a cutting board. Professional chef is a keyword, but so is unique. Now, if somebody was searching just the search term unique, well, nobody really searches like that, right? They might search gift idea, but they're probably going to look for something like a more longer tail, what we call longer tail. Like it might say gift ideas for chefs, or gift ideas for chefs in New Hampshire who like to grill meats, right? So you could do that, right? So, or hardwoods or something like that. So this is just kind of a starting point. And like animal-shaped cutting boards, that's a good keyword itself that they could probably use, and you can get ideas on there. And I'd say, could you give me more, but have them be long tail keywords? I don't have to put that in there, it knows it, but I'm going to put it in there anyways. So long tail means that they're longer keywords, longer string of words that people might search for, that gives you a better chance to rank high on search engines. I mean, if you put in cutting boards, there's a lot of people that make cutting boards. There's a lot of places that sell cutting boards, even custom cutting boards. So this way, you can get something that's a little bit longer. So if somebody is looking for, customized cutting boards for the kitchen, that'll stand out more than just customized cutting boards. Or durable custom cutting boards for professional chefs. That's a lot to type in or speak in, because we're now using a lot more voice prompts with things. These are things that can really fit there. And because they're in New Hampshire, and do they say where they're at in New Hampshire? Does it matter where they're at? As far as in New Hampshire where they're at, I'm not so sure. Let's see if I can go to the bottom here. They got an address here. No, they don't get an address. All right, so let's go and just say, could you say long tail keywords for this located in New Hampshire, all right? So that they're going to focus on New Hampshire, again, in the United States. And it would even be better in, like in a particular city, for example, in New Hampshire. So if you want to say in California, maybe you want to be more specific and say Los Angeles or even something closer. So you can see New Hampshire made cutting boards or personally cutting boards created in New Hampshire, right? So now I'm getting anybody who's looking for something that's more New Hampshire based, wants to buy local, and this fits into the local because they're local sustainability and all that. So now these are a lot of nice keywords that I could use for this business, not only in my web page, but maybe for a blog or other types of things too, that I want to help with search engine optimization. So you can use them multiple ways. So those are some ideas around, ways that you could, really kind of, improve your website or your website things. One other thing real quick is maybe you want to have FAQs, so could you create a FAQ, frequently asked question list, based on this web page. Okay. So then it might go through, like, what materials, see, now here you can see the questions, right? And then it's giving you the answers. And then you tweak that to what it is you really do. So what are some frequent asked questions? Well, what materials? And then you would go back in and you would edit this and maybe rewrite part, but you'd say, we include maple, cherry, and walnut. Well, maybe you don't. Maybe it's just maple and cherry. All sourced from responsibly managed forests. Well, maybe you want to emphasize New Hampshire, responsibly managed forests in New Hampshire, so you can really enhance this with what it's giving you. Can you create Yeah, sure you do. But do you have any kitchen accessories, right? And you say, yes, we do. We do have a kitchen accessory, or no, we don't. So here's some frequently asked things. How do I claim my 25% discount? That's because I had that with the pop-up. If I didn't have the pop-up, this wouldn't show up. But here I just really quickly, instead of sitting around and trying to create a list of my own and making sure I covered everything, and you know your customers well, but this is something to kind of get your mind thinking, and then you can kind of go from there. Like, can I use these for serving, all right, or are they not safe for serving? So there's an idea of where you can add FAQs in there as well. So have fun with that with your own web pages. Look at your own web page and then use ChatGPT to kind of create some stuff and then see how it compares to what you've got, and then take the best of both and really help design your own web page that's more effective, better at converting people into sales or selling for your product or service, and also maybe better with SEO with search engine optimization by asking for keywords and then leveraging that too as well.